In Chapter 1 of Dark Infatuation, the story introduces Morona, a diligent and intelligent woman whose life is turned upside down after the chaotic death of her husband. Following his demise, she finds herself facing an unwanted marriage to her late husband's ruthless brother, Mikhail Delgado, who is depicted as a mafia lord and a significant threat to her well-being. The chapter sets a dark tone as Morona grapples with her new reality, feeling trapped and fearful of Mikhail's violent reputation. Despite her dire circumstances, she strives to maintain her strength and dignity, hoping to navigate the challenges ahead. The narrative hints at the complexities of their relationship and foreshadows the struggles Morona will face in trying to survive under Mikhail's control. Overall, Chapter 1 establishes the foundation for a dark romance filled with themes of power, survival, and emotional conflict as Morona prepares to confront her fate with Mikhail, too. In Chapter 2 of 1984, the narrative continues to explore Winston's life under the oppressive regime of the party. The chapter begins with a significant moment when Winston receives a note from Julia, a dark-haired girl he has been suspicious of, which simply states, "I love you." This unexpected confession ignites a mix of hope and confusion in Winston, who initially fears Julia may be a spy. As the chapter progresses, Winston and Julia arrange secret meetings to avoid the watchful eyes of the party. Their first rendezvous occurs in Victory Square, where they navigate through a crowd to conceal their interactions. Eventually, they escape to the countryside, where they share an intimate moment that marks a turning point in Winston's life. Julia reveals her name and her rebellious nature against the party's restrictions on sexuality, which she sees as a means to exert control over citizens. Julia's pragmatic approach to their relationship contrasts sharply with Winston's more philosophical and fatalistic outlook. While Winston is deeply troubled by the party's oppressive nature, Julia focuses on enjoying their illicit affair and living in the moment. This dynamic sets the stage for their relationship, highlighting themes of rebellion, desire, and the human spirit's resilience against authoritarianism. The chapter concludes with both characters returning to their daily lives, but now with a newfound connection that defies the party's constraints.
Certainly.
Here's a summary of Chapters 3 to 5 of Dark Infatuation. Chapter 3. In this chapter, Morona begins to acclimate to her new life under Mikhail's control. She learns more about his ruthless nature and the extent of his influence in the criminal underworld. Despite her fear, Morona resolves to find a way to assert her independence. She starts gathering information about Mikhail and his operations, hoping to find leverage that could help her escape her situation. The chapter delves into Morona's internal struggle as she balances her desire for freedom with the reality of her circumstances. Chapter 4. Morona's relationship with Mikhail becomes more complex as they interact more frequently. Mikhail exhibits moments of unexpected kindness, which confuses Morona and complicates her feelings toward him. She begins to see glimpses of his vulnerability beneath his tough exterior. However, the underlying tension remains as Mikhail's violent past looms large. This chapter explores themes of power dynamics in relationships, as Morona grapples with her attraction to Mikhail while being acutely aware of the danger he represents. Chapter 5. In this chapter, the stakes escalate when Morona witnesses a violent act committed by Mikhail's associates. This event serves as a harsh reminder of the world she has entered and reinforces her determination to escape. Morona seeks allies among those who work for Mikhail, trying to find someone she can trust. As she navigates this treacherous landscape, she begins to uncover more about Mikhail's motivations and the reasons behind his actions. The chapter ends on a cliffhanger, leaving readers anxious about Morona's fate and her growing entanglement with Mikhail. These chapters deepen the exploration of Morona's character as she confronts her fears and begins to understand the complexities of love and power within a dangerous environment. Here's a summary of Chapters 5 to 28 of Dark Infatuation. Chapter 5. Morona continues to navigate her complicated feelings towards Mikhail, who exhibits both charm and menace. She learns more about his past and the reasons behind his ruthless demeanor, which adds layers to their relationship. Mirona's internal conflict intensifies as she grapples with her growing attraction to Mikhail while remaining fearful of his violent tendencies. This chapter explores themes of love intertwined with danger as Mirona begins to question her own feelings. Chapter 6. Mikhail's possessiveness becomes more apparent, leading to tension between him and Mirona. She struggles with her desire for independence while being drawn to Mikhail's strength. Meanwhile, Mirona seeks solace in her memories of her late husband, contrasting the warmth of their relationship with the cold reality of her current situation. This chapter highlights the emotional turmoil as Mirona attempts to reconcile her past with her present. Chapter 7. Mirona discovers that Mikhail is involved in illegal activities that could put her in danger. As she learns more about his world, she feels increasingly trapped. Despite this, she finds herself unable to resist the magnetic pull of their connection. The chapter deepens the exploration of loyalty and betrayal as Mirona weighs her options and contemplates the consequences of staying with Mikhail. Chapter 8. The tension escalates when Mirona witnesses a violent confrontation involving Mikhail's associates. This traumatic event forces her to confront the reality of her situation and the potential dangers that come with being involved with him. She begins to form a plan to escape, but struggles with the fear of what Mikhail might do if he discovers her intentions. This chapter emphasizes themes of survival and resilience. Chapter 9. Mirona's relationship with Mikhail takes a turn as they share a vulnerable moment that reveals deeper emotions. Mikhail opens up about his troubled past, providing insight into his character and motivations. This moment creates a temporary bond between them, but Mirona remains cautious, aware that their connection is fraught with danger. The chapter explores the duality of love and fear, showcasing how intimacy can coexist with peril. Chapter 10. As Mirona delves deeper into Mikhail's world, she uncovers secrets that challenge her perceptions of him. She learns about his family dynamics and the pressures he faces within the criminal underworld. This knowledge complicates her feelings further as she begins to empathize with his struggles while still fearing for her safety. The chapter highlights the theme of understanding versus judgment in relationships. Chapters 11 to 28. In these chapters, Mirona's journey becomes increasingly perilous as she navigates Mikhail's violent world while trying to maintain her sense of self. She encounters various challenges that test her resolve and force her to confront difficult choices regarding love, loyalty, and survival. Throughout these chapters, Mirona evolves from a passive character into someone who actively seeks agency in a dangerous environment, setting the stage for further conflict and development in her relationship with Mikhail. The story builds tension as it delves into the intricacies of their connection against a backdrop of violence and emotional turmoil.